Hey there, all you other mages of the multiverse out there. This is the Green Mage coming at you with part 2 of a 2-part daily magic thought. And today I have been thinking about content, specifically podcasts when it comes to Magic the Gathering. For those of you who don't know, I travel an awfully lot for work. I can be in a car for up to 10 hours a day. I think the longest I've done is probably 10 to 11 hours. But I have a lot of time on the road in a car by myself, and I have found that I like to fill that time with Magic the Gathering related podcasts. So today I thought I would do the busy work for you, and I wanted to hand out an award for the best kinds of podcasts in the different aspects of Magic. Now, different aspects often means different formats, but there are other aspects too I want to highlight these different podcasts and content creators. So without any further ado, I'd like to give out the Green Mage Awards for best content out there. For limited, meaning draft and sealed, I give the award to Limited Resources for having the best podcast content out there. It's by Marshall Sutcliffe and Luis Scott Vargas. Marshall being a commentator for the Pro Tour, for GPs. Luis, of course, being a world-renowned player and a Platinum Pro, who is taking some time off of playing to do also some commentary. Marshall and Luis do some great work, and they really prepare you for any sealed format or draft format that's out there, that's current, and they'll help you level up your game and help you just become a better player in general. For Standard, I would like to give the award for Best Standard Content to the Top Level Podcast with Michael J. Flores and Patrick Chapin. The both of them have a really laid-back podcast. They just kind of talk to each other about current events and things in Standard. And Patrick Chapin is one of the best card evaluators that I know of. So if you play a lot of Standard, I would highly recommend you go check out the Top Level Podcast. They're the best for Standard. My favorite format is Modern. And for the Modern format, I want to give the best award for Modern Podcast to the Masters of Modern Podcast with Alex Kessler and Ben Bateman. These are two guys who really love Modern. They love approaching Modern, talking about Modern, building decks for Modern. And they're two awesome people that I personally support via the Patreon. And I know Ben Bateman has a show here on Anchor called 10 Minutes of Magic. Go check him out if you can. But they are just stellar people who produce great Modern content. I know a lot of people like the casual format called Commander, and if you are a big Commander person, I think my favorite / the best podcast out there for Commander is the Command Zone with Jimmy Wong and Josh Lee Kwai. They have a great podcast with a lot of episodes backlogged. They also have a new thing called Game Nights, which is videos of gameplay on YouTube. If you have a chance, go check that out. It's a great way to spend 40 minutes watching these different decks and these different interactions. For those of you who like Magic the Gathering but don't really play a format and just want to know how to get better, I'd recommend MTG Pro Tutor with Sean Penrod, where he talks with a lot of different guests, a lot of pros, and he just talks about leveling up your play and approaching the game from a different point of view, and it's really awesome. So if you like a catch-all, go visit Sean, MTG Pro Tutor. If you like story like me, if you're a Vorthos, I can't recommend enough for you to go check out the Unspoken Realms podcast. It is a person, a guy who reads the Magic the Gathering story as though it were an audiobook, and it's great to listen to. It makes great for driving, and I personally love it. So go check out the Unspoken Realms if you like story. I would like to give a brief shout out to Brian at Tolarian Community College. Though he does not have a podcast, he has the best review content for Magic the Gathering items and paraphernalia that you can find. So if you're looking for reviews of deck boxes or sleeves or anything, go check out Brian at Tolarian Community College on YouTube. I know he's not a podcast, but he's got great video content. What about you? Who do you like listening to for Magic the Gathering? I don't currently have a Legacy and Vintage podcast because I don't listen or play to Legacy and Vintage, but if you have one, I'd love to hear from you. You can call into the show if you like to. If it's appropriate, I'll play it on air, and if it is, I'll interact with it. If you would like to tweet at me, you can do so. I'm at TheGreenMage14 on Twitter. I'd love to hear what you think about these podcasts. I'd love to hear who you listen to. And if you would be so kind, speaking of social media, to share this link. I have a few followers. I'd like a few more. Anyway, I hope this is helpful to you. I hope that you find some value in this. And until tomorrow, I'm the Green Mage, and that's been your Daily Magic Thought.